The rope creaked against the cabin beam like a prayer left unanswered. Robert Boone had been alone in these mountains for 3 winters, and he thought he knew every sound the wind could make through the pines. But this was different. This was wrong. He stepped out of his door into the gray morning light and found her hanging there, unconscious but breathing, her dress torn and her dark hair tangled with leaves. If you want to watch videos like this, so visit our channel and don't forget to subscribe. Woe have provided a lot of emotional stories about life-changing. The words burned into his door told a story he didn't want to read. Apache lover. Robert had seen enough cruelty during the war to last several lifetimes. His hands shook as he cut her down, not from fear, but from the memory of other bodies, other ropes. He had come to these mountains to forget such things, to find peace in the silence between his heartbeats, but peace, he was learning, was not something you could hide from the world to find. Her name was Annabeth Cowley, and when she woke by his fire 2 days later, her first words were an apology. "I'm sorry they marked your door," she whispered, her voice hoarse from the rope. Robert stirred the beans he was cooking and said nothing. He had learned that sometimes silence was the kindest gift you could give someone carrying a heavy story. She told it anyway, in pieces, over the following days. Her father owned a plantation in Georgia. Ruthless, she said, in the way only wealth could make a man. She had run away to be with Taha, an Apache man who taught her that love could exist without ownership, without chains. "They killed him in front of me," she said one evening, staring into the fire. "Clayton Rieck, my father's man, he made sure I watched every second." Robert knew about watching people die. "The way it carved holes in your chest that never quite healed. But you lived," he said simply. "Sometimes I wonder if that was a blessing or a curse." He understood that feeling too. 3 weeks later, Rieck found them. Robert saw the dust cloud from his lookout point and knew immediately it wasn't friendly visitors. Men like that traveled in packs with purpose and cruelty. "He won't stop," Annabeth said when Robert told her. "My father's pride won't let him." "Then we don't run," Robert said, checking his rifle. "We end it." They fought off the first group of bounty hunters from the cabin. Robert moved with the quiet efficiency of a man who had survived one war and wouldn't lose another. Annabeth proved she could shoot as straight as any soldier, her jaw set with determination that reminded him of battles fought for more than money, but more would come. "They always did. There's a town," Robert said, loading supplies. "Dustwater. If we can get Rieck there, in front of witnesses, maybe we can make this stop." The journey took 4 days through dangerous territory. They traveled mostly at night, speaking little but understanding each other perfectly. Robert found himself watching the way Annabeth moved through the forest, silent as smoke, and realized he hadn't felt this protective of anyone since his brother died at Gettysburg. In Dustwater, they found Sheriff Morrison was an honest man in a corrupt world. When Robert presented the evidence, Rieck's wanted posters, testimonies from other survivors of his cruelty, the law finally had teeth. Rieck fought the arrest, raging about property and rights and the way things were supposed to be. But justice, when it finally came, was swift and quiet. Standing outside the courthouse, Annabeth took Robert's hand. "Where do we go now?" Robert looked at the mountains in the distance, then at her face in the afternoon light. "Home," he said. "We build something new." They found a valley 20 miles north where a stream ran clear, and the cabin they built together felt like sanctuary. Others came eventually: runaway slaves, displaced Indians, anyone seeking refuge from a world too harsh to bear alone. Years later, Robert found a letter Annabeth had written but never sent, tucked inside her journal. *, my dearest friend, you asked me once what love looks like when the world stops trying to destroy it. It looks like Robert checking the horses every morning while I tend the garden. It looks like the way he still sets his rifle by the door, not from fear now, but from habit. It looks like 2 people who found each other in the wreckage and decided to build something beautiful from the broken pieces. Love isn't always grand gestures and passionate declarations. Sometimes it's just 2 people choosing each other again and again in the quiet moments between storms. Robert folded the letter carefully and placed it back where he found it. Outside, he could hear Annabeth humming while she worked. the sound mixing with the mountain wind like a song of home finally found.